The meeting for the Tangipahoa Parish Council for August 12, 2019 will now come to order. First on the public hearing, we have Tangipahoa Parish Order number 19-26, which is an ordinance to declare surplus and donate to the sewer district a 1998 16-feet trailer. Anybody wish to address that item? All right. The next item on the public hearing is Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1927. That's an ordinance to declare several assets surplus and donate them to the water district. Anybody wish to address that item? All right, the third item on the public hearing is Tangipahoa Parish Ordinance number 1928. That's an ordinance waiving the cost of living increase for tipping fees for Amway of Louisiana to June 30, 2020. I'm sorry, 2020. Anybody wish to address that item? If not, you do. We'll address it. It's on the agenda. Okay. We'll make sure that you have opportunity to address it during the agenda. We'll go into our regular meeting. The invocation will be done by Councilman Joseph and the pledge of allegiance by Councilman Risdale.
I'd like for everybody to stand, please. And Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'd like to just break from protocol seconds and ask everybody to give us a moment of silence. Those who lost their lives in Ohio and Paso, and ask the Lord to give the family members strength, courage as they suffer through the loss of. Thank you very much. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings we've received. We thank you for our health. We thank you for our strength.
Yeah.
Thank you for our peace of mind. We thank you for our families and our friends. Thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight to take care of the business that will affect all of our constituents. Lord, we thank you for allowing us to assemble here tonight. Give the leadership all the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, not only to do what is right, but to do the right thing. Bless our first responders, military personnel, police, all those who place themselves away so that we may enjoy the freedom and the life that we enjoy today in the United States. And if we leave this place without your grace, we ask that you give us traveling grace on our way back to our various abodes, and we will be sure to give you all the honor and all the. Those within the sound of my voice responded by saying,
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Veteran and active military render the proper salute.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next will be roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest.
Present.
Mr. Bailey.
Present.
Mr. Joseph.
Present.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Bristol.
Here.
Mr. Mayhew.
Here.
Mr. Wells.
Here.
Mr. Vial.
Here.
Mr. Levine. Mr. Cortez.
Here. All right, thank you. At this time, we would like to ask if you have cell phones or any other electronic devices, if you would please turn them off or mute it, we would appreciate it very much. The next item is adoption of the minutes for our regular meeting, which was July the 22nd.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilman Forrest. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Bristol.
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew.
Yes.
Mr. Wells.
Yes.
Mr. Vial.
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Our next public input. Anybody wish to address the agenda items which were not on the public hearing? If not, the next is Parish President report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We have a few items on the agenda tonight. We'll get right into it. The first one is approval of a bid for the overlay program number 2. It's for this fiscal year, the second, or the change order. I guess it's not really a change order. We're adding roads to the overlay program. These roads, if you remember, we bid them and we threw out the bids and rebid them. This is the rebid. the low bidder's Coastal Construction at $534,604.19. It is a little higher than we would hoped, but it is within the budget.
Just out of curiosity, is this the same folks that are doing the Vineyard Road Bridge, that coastal bridge? No?
No, I
Okay.
don't believe it's the same folks.
Just curious. Okay, thanks. Also move.
Call it.
All right. We have a motion by Councilman Bruno, second by Councilman Joseph. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Yes. Mr. Ritchell? Yes. Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
All right, the motion is carried.
Just one question. They've met all the bonds, stuff and everything?
Yes.
So they're ready to go?
Correct. Well, Tom?
We're not ready yet. Tonight and tomorrow, I was in there.
All right. The second item that we have is approval of the change order number 1 for the Village of Tangipahoa Sewer Project. This is the project that's funded through a DEQ grant, but it passes through the parish. They're actually lowering the contract by an aspirator that's not needed by $16,700.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Forrest,
Second.
second by Councilman Bailey. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchell?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
All right, the motion is carried.
All right, we have a second change order for the Village of Tangipahoa Sewer Project. This one is just to add some time, and there's no cost change.
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Joseph, second by Councilman Forrest. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchell?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
All right, motion is carried.
All right. We have a change order number 3 for the Wardline Road Drainage Improvement Project. There was some exploratory excavation that needed to be done to locate AT&T facilities that were a little tough to find, $5,750, and that is in the budget.
So move. Second.
Motion by Councilman Mayo, second by
Here.
Councilman Vial. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchell?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
All right, the motion is carried.
Item number 5 is approval of change order number 4 for the Wardline Road drainage improvements. It's a time extension. It has a few items on it. If you look at the details, there's some time extension that doesn't change the cost. There's some various cross drain improvements, riprap to improve erosion control that was under the bridge that became more apparent was necessary. The total cost on these changes is $24,697. It still falls within the budget of the project.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Mayo,
I'll second it.
second by Councilman Vial. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchell? Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Wells, we have 2 items that we would like to add to the agenda. One of them was some clerical miscommunication between our office and council clerk. And one of them is, I think, more or less an emergency on behalf of the town of Tickfall, the village of Tickfall. So if you want to do those separately to add them to the agenda?
We can add them in one motion.
I'll make the motion to add.
We have a motion by Councilman Forrest to add those 2 items, one dealing with the village of Tangipahoa and the other one dealing with the sign
The
advertising.
lease property.
Lease for the sign. Who's second?
Buddy got?
Second by Councilman Ritchell. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Ritchell?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
All right. The first item is adding an ordinance to lease property on parish property on Club Deluxe Road against the interstate. You remember, we've been working on this for quite a while, the monument sign, big, nice digital sign that kind of welcomes folks to Tangipahoa Parish. It's to allow us to enter into a lease with Premier Media. We did go out for RFPs on the RFQs and the only response was Premier Media. It's a 15-year lease. Lease 1 through 5, year 1 through 5 is $10,500 a year. 6 through 10 is $11,550, and 11 through 15 is $12,750. We also get free flips or slides on it. I think it's about 3 per minute that we get. Just to kind of give you a little background, the existing billboard, which they were literally taken down today, we were for the last 20 plus years, we've been getting $1,800 per year.
This is the backside.
Against the interstate, yes, sir.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Mayhew.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cortez. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
All right, motion is carried.
The next item that we've added is donation of surplus property to Tickfall. It's 2 pickup trucks. I know one of those is to replace the mosquito abatement system pickup truck. There was a little accident with that one. I think it caught on fire. Is that right, Mayor? Where you at?
35 and 36. It needs to be done separately.
Also
And
moved.
I'm not sure what the second truck is for, but I'm sure he needs it in an emergency also.
35 and 36.
That's mine and Carlos district.
Yeah. So it needs to be 2
I'll
trucks.
second
Yes,
his
sir.
motion.
Okay, we'll just do it.
They're separate?
Yeah, they're separate.
I'm sorry.
We gotta do
Doing the
one
first-
at one at a time.
Then
They're
one of the
separate.
trucks.
We're gonna do the truck first? All right, do you have a motion on that? I didn't hear it. Who made it?
I made it, Carlos said.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Risdale and a second by Councilman Bruno. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yeah.
Mr. Ridgel? Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
All right, motion is carried.
And then we have the second truck. There's 2 trucks.
Yes.
So same thing.
I'll
Need a-
second Carlos.
Second.
All right, good. Carlos made the motion. Councilman Bruno made the motion. Councilman Risdale second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest? Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Cortez?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I don't have anything further, but I believe there is, if you would indulge, Mr. Melvin McKelvey would like to make comments at this time within the parish president's report, if that's okay.
That's okay.
Hey, did we do the one for the billboard?
Yeah, we did it.
That's what we just did.
We just did.
First and then the 2 trucks.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that one first.
Good evening, Council. Melvin McElwee with the Louisiana Native Guard Association. We would like to, the Louisiana Native Guard Association, Friends of the Library, citizens of Tangipahoa Parish, would like to take this opportunity to thank the entire parish council, the parish president, Robbie Miller, for proclaiming on Saturday, August the 10th, 2019, 400 years of American commemoration to African Americans Day. On August in 2018, U.S. Congress completed H.R. 1242-115, 400 Years of African Americans History Commissions Act. It was in 1619 when the first slaves arrived in Jamestown, Virginia. The Tangipahoa Parish Library, along with the Louisiana Native Guard, Friends of the Library, and several dignitaries, to include Carlo Bruno, David Vial, Lionel Wells, Louis Joseph, the mayor of Hammond, and the director of the library, and many others, participated in the weekending activities within the library and also with a commemoration service at 10 o'clock on the stairs of the Hammond Courthouse in Hammond, with reading of books to kids. And I've also left a souvenir booklet for each one of you all to view. The parish president did sign a proclamation. You all can get with him, and I'm not going to read it here now. We just want to tell you all thank you for allowing this to happen. I believe that if you find it within the state of Louisiana, any other parish, town, or city that has done this, I'll take you to dinner.
I'm gonna start looking.
Start looking. And then if you don't find it, take me to dinner. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you, man.
And that proclamation, Mr. President, was very well written. Very good. Anything else, Mr. President?
That is it, sir, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Okay, next, we'll move on to item number 6. Item number 6 is adoption of Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1926. That's an ordinance to declare surplus and donate to the sewer district a 1998 16-feet trailer.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilman Vial,
Second.
second by Councilman Mayhew. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
All right, the motion is carried. Next is item number 7, adoption of Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1927. That's an order to declare several items surplus and donate to the water district. They're listed in your package.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilman Bailey,
Second.
second by Councilman Cortez. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richel?
Yes.
All right, motion is carried. Next is item number 8, adoption of Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1928. That's an ordinance waiving the cost of living increase in tipping fees for Amway of Louisiana. And we have somebody public input.
Yes, my name is Salvador Nicolosi at 3607 Highway 190 West in Hammond. I'm a little bit, I guess, concerned or trying to figure this out with Amway of Louisiana. When you're saying tipping fees, I don't quite understand that, so maybe y'all could kind of give me a clue to what's happening. Sal, when we renewed the contract with Amway's, the hauler that is recognized by the parish as the parish's waste hauler. In their new contract, they agreed for the first year, if we didn't raise the tipping fees, there would not be an increase to the residents on the pickup for residential pickup. It just got slipped through the cracks, and this is just cleaning it up. So this will only be for the first year, which ends in June, I think. And then in June, it goes back to the regular contract to where they have a cost of living increase if there's a cost of living. So this is to keep the rates at the same from now till June. That's for all the people in the parish? That's for all the residential pickup, not commercial pickup. Only the people that have a Amway's can in their yard. Okay, so the word tipping, what does the word tipping really mean in this business? The tipping fee is what they pay to dump their garbage at the landfill. So that fee that they are paying now will remain the same till June. And in turn, they will not raise the rates on the residential pickup till June. Until 2020. That's correct. Okay, thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
I'll make that motion.
All right. We have a motion by Councilman Bruno,
Second.
second by Councilman Villa. Roll call, please.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yeah.
Mr. Richel? Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes. Motion is carried. Next is item number 9, introduction of ordinance number 1929. An ordinance placing 15 miles an hour speed limit and drive like your kids live here signs on Whiskey Lane Extension in District 5 in the parish.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bristol,
Second.
second by Councilman Mayhew. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
All right, motion is carried. Next is item number 10, introduction of Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1930. That's an ordinance placing 35 miles an hour speed limit signs on Vineyard Road from North Corbin Road to River Road in District number 8 in the parish. District number 8?
Yeah, that's my district. As you know, we're upgrading that bridge on Vineyard Road, and I think this is going to turn into it's great to have the bridge upgraded, but I have concerns about the speed on that road, so I'm offering a 35 mile an hour speed limit.
That's your motion?
That's the motion.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Villa,
Second.
second by Councilman Bruno. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest? Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
All right, motion is carried. Next is item number 11, introduction of ordinance number 1931. That's an ordinance amending Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1863. Adoption of amendment of operating and capital outlay budget for the parish for the fiscal year 2019.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Councilman Cortez,
Second.
second by Councilman Forrest. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph? Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
All right, motion is carried. Next is item number 12, introduction of Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1932. That's an ordinance rescinding the abandonment of 390 feet section of the east end of East Bear Road. We voted to abandon it on June the 24th, 2019.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Bailey,
Second.
Second by Councilman Richard. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchell? Yes. Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest? Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Next is item number 13, introduction of Tangipahoa Parish Order number 1933. That's an ordinance to name the Tangipahoa Parish Government Building. In honor of our parish president, Mr. Gordon Burgess. It's in your packet. Mr. Burgess gave 30 years of dedicated service to this parish, and there are many things that we are benefiting from his service as parish president for 7 consecutive terms. We have a motion by Councilman Risdale,
Second.
second by Councilman Cortez.
Question.
Yes.
Look, I don't want to be a wet blanket because I agree 100% that a building does need to be named after Mr. Burgess for his years of service. But this building's already been named for the veterans, and the plaque outside has it on there, that this building was dedicated to the veterans.
I thought we did that building over there.
It's this one. It's on the front of this
I'll
building.
address it. I'll address it.
The complex was named after the veterans, but the EOC building is not named after the veteran.
Okay.
So I'm 100% for naming a building. I think it's an honor for him, and I think that necessarily needs to be done as fast as we can. But this building's named. I would vote to name the EOC building in 1 minute because he was very instrumental in getting that building built. But I think we'd be doing something to actually, we had the veterans here and had a ceremony to dedicate this, and I think you really be doing a disservice to the veterans if you change the name at this point. It hadn't even been a year.
We're not changing the name of the entire complex. All we're changing the name of is the administration building. When it was dedicated, this building and the OC was dedicated as a veteran, which will not change. Now, I would like to also add that Mr. Burgess was a veteran also. So all we're doing is naming the administration building and this council in honor of Mr. Burgess, who served, I think, diligent for all those years. And it's not going to change the name of the complex. It will still be known as a veteran complex. But this part, just this part, administration building, the council chamber, will be named Gordon A. Burgess.
But what you gonna do with the plaque, Lionel?
We can change the signage. Won't be any problem. The signage could be changed.
Why we can't do the other building, just name it?
That's the way we're proposing it.
Well, I'll leave my motion as it is.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruno?
No.
Mr. Ritchell?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Can we have a little more discussion on this? I mean, I'm a little.
We're middle roll call, Mr.
I'm a little
Yeah.
confused myself. I'm not quite sure what we're doing. I agree 100%. I want to honor Mr. Burgess too, but, you know, when we went through this process the last time, we had a committee. We sent it to a committee. We looked at what we were going to do, how we we're going to take this up, and I'm just a little confused about what we're doing. I'm just not real sure, I guess, because the plaque does say this building, and I know we honored the veterans. There's plenty of veterans out there. My dad's a veteran. Mr. Burgess was a veteran. Buddy was a veteran. I'm not quite sure what we're doing here.
Well, all I can say is this. The ordinance that is being proposed will name this council office and
So
administration.
we're saying the council chambers?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Chambers itself?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm
And the
understanding?
government building. So that's what it's said. That's what it's proposed to do.
Okay.
It'll be this and the building, if I'm understanding it right.
In the administration part, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not the whole complex. The EOC and all that was named the veterans, this whole thing. We're just naming part of that. And we can, of course, change the signage. It wouldn't be any problem changing the signage.
Well, it would be to the veterans, Lionel.
I don't think so, Mr. Bruno.
Well, let me ask one more time. Because we had a little discussion in the hall earlier, but this was put on the agenda. There wasn't a whole lot of discussion about it. We're naming the council chambers. Is that I'm understanding? Because if that's what we're doing, I think that's appropriate. Because I think.
And the administration part. Which would be around here, right? This part of the building. Not, yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, that's as clear as I can state it.
And what are we gonna do about I'm just asking these
We
questions.
can change the
We got
signage.
veterans, you know, it's.
It will be the veteran complex, and this part will be Gordon A. Burgess Governmental Building. That's all we're proposing. That's it. We're not changing, I mean, I can't think of any person on this council,
No.
I'm not a veteran, but anybody that will be dishonoring the veterans in any shape or form in today's life, because that is not the intention of this. And also, I said before, Mr. Burgess was also a veteran.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say.
And if we want to change and name the rest of it as after some other veteran at some other time, I mean, that will still be open. But until that, it will still be known as the Veteran Complex.
Louis, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I'll tell you, if I may.
Yes, yes.
What threw me off, though, Lionel, is the wording of it. It says, in order to name the Tangipahoa Parish government building. And when I saw that, I envisioned the entire complex. It probably should have said naming the administrative building. You follow me?
Chambers, yeah.
Yeah, it threw me off.
This is just for introduction?
It's just introduction. So we can change it to say the administration and the council change.
Yeah,
say that.
council chambers.
Right.
More
Well,
specific.
The
Yeah.
name on the front of the building is the Tangipahoa Parish Government. The name on the front of the building is Tangipahoa Parish Government Building at the top.
Complex, right, that's why I got
Yeah.
confused. They didn't say the administrative area.
Yeah, well, it says the governmental part, so that's what that's what I was thinking, we put it together.
Okay.
I thought governmental part would be just that, and not the OC building. That's why I was in that, but I'll make that clarification for the final adoption.
Yeah.
I'll specify it, but it will be that part of the building.
So,
And then the signage will be changed. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna support it, but I really think we need to have a process to do this.
Don't have a process.
Like
That's
we
the
don't,
problem.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's
We
right.
should, and we
Yeah,
should have
we
one,
should.
okay? Because we have a lot of government buildings.
Yeah, because if you remember, I think the last two times when we named the other two buildings that we named in the parish, I mean, I didn't have any reservation about it then, nor do I
didn't either.
now. But we did not have a set process.
No.
So if that's something that we want to do in the future, I have no problems with
Because
it.
we use the committee to do that.
Yes.
I'm gonna support it, but I think we should have used the process to get here.
We don't have a set process, but we will in the future. I'm quite sure.
So Lionel, the committee will come back to us with recommendations?
We'll change it
Not now.
for the next.
No.
Yeah.
well, if you do, it's gotta be reintroduced.
Yeah. No, we just gonna change
Let
that,
you do it
and then
right now.
we'll do that, with no problem. We always do that for some things that we introduce, and then when we bring them up for final adoption, they've changed before.
Okay.
All right. So roll call, please.
Who were we? David?
I said I'd support.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest? Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
All right, next. Councilman privileges. I'd like to take the first one.
Miss
I did?
Dearwine.
Carolina Liquor and Legal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bold prints on the bottom. Change the print. All right. Beer, wine, and liquor permits, we have any?
No, sir.
All right. Legal counsel? None. None? Councilman privileges. I'm going to take the first one. I would like to just take this opportunity to commend Kristen for serving as president of the OPAO this past year. I mean, she did a tremendous job, and I just would like to say, well done. The convention was out of sight. So I just wanted to say that. Any other council privileges?
I want to come in and compliment Joey, Buddy,
Thank you.
Lionel, and Robbie for being elected outstanding.
Well, thank you.
Wish I could join you.
You will, John. Any other council privileges? Scartez.
Mr. Chairman, I got a few,
Okay.
three things I'd like to talk about. One of them, is popular, some of them not too popular. I want to bring up the issue of zoning. You know, we've talked about it well, I've talked about it for 24 years. And you know, I'm having some troubles in my district right now, and I think District 2 and District 10, or District 9 are having some troubles over on the east side right now also.
Yep.
So I think we need to start looking at it again. Maybe, you know, we have a plan that was put on the shelf, so to speak, and And I think it's a pretty good plan. We had committees, each of y'all that was here at the time appointed 3 members to sit on this committee. We went up and down the parish, asked for information, how they wanted their area to be. I have one of my members back there, Mr. Ron Whitton, was one of my members that was sitting on it. And it kind of just sat there and nothing's happened with it.
Agreed.
And, so I'd kind of like to maybe, if you would consider, Mr. Chairman, kind of bring it back up, put it on a committee going again and see if we can look at it, whether it's parish-wide, whether it's on a line somewhere across the parish, or whatever we need to do to try to address it.
All right. Well, if there's anybody that would like to serve on the zoning committee, let me know and I'll make that appointment at the next meeting.
Okay? Now, I have 3 of them.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I make a comment there?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I think, yeah, we do need to look at land use, okay, but I do believe, and I've said this when I ran for office last time, we've got to figure out where to draw the line.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a very diverse parish, okay? And I think that was what happened to the initial effort, is that it was parish-wide and it just wasn't going to fly, okay? So where's that line? I don't know, I'm not sure. But I think there's some areas out there like the metropolitan area that you can look at to give you an idea to where to do this, you know? So, yeah, I think it's something to take a look at, yes,
Do
without
we
a
have,
doubt.
Robert, we have what's the circle around the, what they call
Oh, yeah,
it?
the RPC, Metropolitan area.
You got the metropolitan area.
That's already in place now.
That's kind of a starting point, I guess the way to say it.
And that's what we had talked about last time when we were talking about zoning. It wasn't just blanket, the entire parish.
Right.
But we did think in that concept.
Yes.
That you're
Okay.
talking about. And like I said, if somebody interested in serving on the committee, let me know and then I'll appoint that committee at the next meeting.
All right.
We had a standing committee.
I mean, that was years ago, Mr. Jones. That was before you were on the committee.
Some of the regulations and everything, and they need to be included in this too.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I said the committee that sits with Bridget. that meets-
Developmental Rec Committee.
Developmental regular, yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
All right, so.
We'll let Carlo,
They need to be
we'll let
included in this
Carlo
also.
chair it.
We were, the other,
Next thing is, I guess I'm going to direct this to Cliff.
Cliff or Carlo?
I got an area in my district that used to be the old Hammond landfill. Buddy used to run it. And it's been closed down, Buddy, 25 years or so?
At least.
And there's a lot of gunfire back there. People go back there, sight their rifles in, just go shoot back there. It's surrounded by 3 major subdivisions in my district. And I've actually in Belforet, there's a couple of residents back there that got gun holes. They're back walls. So I called the mayor and talked to him about it. He was going to look at trying to see what they could come up with, maybe some kind of posting or something. But Cliff, I guess my question is, I'm going to go to the waterways. We have our waterways in the parish, and we have certain areas we declare no wake zone. Is there a way that we can take our gun or our ordinances and create a no gun range area or something?
2 things. Number one, I think that the parish has adopted certain restrictions on where you can fire guns, near streets and that sort of thing.
It's a big,
And I'm assuming, who is this a privately owned piece of property now?
City of Hammond owns it.
Okay. To be honest, I think in connection with the city of Hammond ownership, you could certainly, make that a no-gun range area. That doesn't belong. It's not. That's like a public park or something. And so I would think you could, most parks have prohibitions.
I don't think you want this to be a park.
Well, I didn't mean it literally. I mean,
A lot of money making a park.
what I'm saying is, I think, without any research, but I do believe that this particular area, with the cooperation of the city of Hammond, could be declared an area in which it would be illegal to fire weapons, because this is not private property. This is public
Well,
property.
I guess, I'm hoping the city will come back and try to put some type of no trespassing signs.
It's not barricaded off.
If you decide to do
It's been
that,
barricaded,
now
they go around the barricade. They find ways in there, all.
we will need some kind of description. I assume the city of Hammond has a property
I'm pretty sure they
description.
do, yeah.
Is it located inside the city limits?
No.
No.
Bobby, I think you could do what the school board has done. They got no
Section
gun
16.
zones around the school.
Oh, around.
But the only problem is, this is a kind of unique situation with the city of Hammond owning that property. You would probably have to get the city of Hammond to draft an ordinance, because it's their property. We could draft an ordinance outside of the gate of the property that says this is a no-gun zone. But then the city of Hammond would have to pass one that it's a no-gun zone inside the area that they have.
Right. And I've talked to the mayor about that. He's supposed to be coming up with something. I just want to make sure that we got all our bases covered.
But we could actually use the school board's ordinance that they have to write it up, because that's a pretty broad ordinance.
Yeah, we don't have a problem necessarily outside of the area.
And the other thing is if they have blocked that off, you realize in Louisiana, it's no longer necessary to have no trespassing signs. If people are on a piece of property and they don't have written permission to be there, or they're not the owners of that property, you can file criminal trespass. The city of Hammond can file criminal trespass charges if I knowingly walk onto their property without their permission.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they'll come up with something, because the sheriff's office, I don't think it's going too much, because there's no signs, there's nothing there saying they can or can't do it.
They can't control it.
So I just want to make sure. And Mr. Chairman, the third thing, our council actually, next meeting, I'm going to propose an ordinance. I got a apartment complex that's also a lot of riff in my area. It's being built in the middle of the same three major subdivisions. And so I'm going to ask for y'all support on that next meeting, maybe try to stop this thing. That's all I have.
All right, anyone else, council privilege? If not, I'll entertain the motion.
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilman Bruno to adjourn the meeting. I hear a second.
Mr. Villa.
David.
Oh, thank you, David.
I got it.
All right. Anybody object? Meeting is adjourned.